right, welcome back to this week's quick question for Alice. I'm going to wrap up from where we were last time, where I was talking about that peripheral. How do you find your clients? The question was, how do I get clients and also negotiate contracts? All right, so let's continue. So the last QQA I spoke about the peripheral, how do you get people how do you attract people to you? Okay, how do you attract people to you? You got to get into their peripheral. Now, one of the things I want to talk about with that, of course, is that there's a lot of science behind what I've just said. If you look at the context of what the brain is actually doing, when you are in a person's peripheral awareness, their reptilian brain, which is fight-flight, is feeling kind of relaxed. They're not aware of you yet there, so they're just relaxed. Now, the moment you come into their space, vroom, they have either a fight or a flight reaction, because immediately you're in their environment and they're like, who are you? So the reptilian response kicks in, and that's not a good place for anyone to be emotionally connected to you, okay? So you've got to remember, how do I get that reptilian response to do what reptiles love to do best? And that is bask in the sun and feel relaxed, okay? If you look at a snake or a lizard, they just love to be out in the sun, okay? So how do you allow your client, your customer, just to feel relaxed with you? So you need to appreciate that reptilian response. You want them to feel relaxed. You got to feel relaxed. So when they meet you, they're like, it's so lovely to meet you. There's already a feeling of trust and responsiveness, which is rapport. Okay. So the second thing you do is, after you got the peripheral awareness, the second thing you do is what we would call approaching your client. Now, approaching your client is really important. They will call you, they will contact you in some way, but the next thing you need to do is approach them. You need to approach them to find out what is it they need, what is it that they desire, okay? What are they looking for? You don't talk about you, you talk about them. What are they looking for in their business, in their life, in their relationships? The questions could be, what's going on for you right now? What's happening for you in your business, right? The whole time you're doing this, you've got to be very, very, very coming from a pure intention of, thank you so much for the opportunity for you to share this with me. And if you're not coming from that, then don't do it, okay? Because then you're being skanky. It's nasty, okay? I'm sharing with you a really powerful tool here, so you've really got to say, okay, thank you for the opportunity that you're sharing with me something perhaps that you haven't shared with somebody before. Perhaps you're sharing something that is a fear that you have, and you may not want to be found out about it, but you know that you're just feeling comfortable to talk about it. Now, this is really important, that when you first meet your client and or your customer, you've got to let them talk. If they don't talk, that means you're not listening. If they don't talk, it also means that they're not able to express with you what's really going on for them. And immediately the trust factor goes right up, and they're not going to trust you. So allow your client to speak. And so what you'll say are things like, tell me more about that, and what else is happening, and how are you seeing that is affecting your relationship and or your life and or your health. And you allow them to speak. Now, what happens from a neurological, from a brain point of view here, is at this point the brain's limbic system, the emotional center of the brain, is really kicking in with emotions. And you're looking for this from a listening point of view. As they're speaking to me, are they producing what types of hormones? Are they producing hormones of fight-flight, like cortisol, stress hormone, like a cortisol, a fear hormone? Or, as they're talking to me, are they producing hormones like dopamine and serotonin and adrenaline? Yeah? Are they getting excited about what they're sharing with me? These two hormones, these two releases of different types of hormones, will give you an immense amount of information about what the next step is, okay? So if they're releasing cortisol, you'll notice their body gets really stiff. You may notice them beginning to sweat. You'll notice their heart rate increases. They may even their mouth might get even dry, okay? So cortisol production. But if they're producing the other hormones, the more positive hormones, you'll notice there's spit flying. Yep. That's a good sign. You'll notice they're getting warm. You'll notice their skin tone is warm and radiant. And you'll notice they're getting really excited about it. Now, it doesn't mean they're excited about the possibility. They may be excited about, oh my goodness, I got to do something about this. But they're not afraid. They're just like, they've got testosterone happening. All right. So those two things you want to watch out for. And that's the answer to this week's QQA, because I'm going to keep going with this one. I'm giving you sales information right now, so you can be a rock and roll salesperson and really beautifully influence the people that you want to work with. So, connect, peripheral awareness, connect, ask them questions, notice the changes in their body as you're talking to them, and then I'll give you the next step in the next QQA. Rock and roll. Have a great day. And again, if you have a question for me, go ahead and send a message to alice@askalice.com.au or send me a message on Facebook. Have a great day. To the next QQA. Thanks.